Come in, come in, come in. I'll tell you a story.
The title of my first story is The Mountain and the Rock, and I'm going to be telling the story to the sound of this drum. Who knows what this drum is called? Okay, it starts with, it's a silent D. It's called a djembe. So this drum is called a djembe. It's an African drum. I'm going to use it sort of like a talking drum. So right now you're going to hear me tell a story to the sound of a sort of talking drum. So the drum is going to be talking as I'm talking. Ready? Are you sure you're ready? We're going to play a game called Raise Your Hand If. How many of you have played that game before? Raise your hand if. Okay. So lots of us have played it before, so let's see. Raise your hand if you believe God is greater than you. You believe God is greater than you. Okay? Raise your hand if you believe God is greater than me. Okay, good. Raise your hand if you believe God is greater than your mom and dad. If God is greater than your mommy and dad. Okay. Raise your hand if you believe God is greater than all your teachers. Okay. Raise your hand if you believe God is greater than all the angels. All the angels. Every single angel. Okay? These kids are very wise. Yeah? Okay. Raise your hand if you believe God is greater than everything and everybody in the whole wide universe. These kids, you are so wise. You're very, very wise. And you're right. God is greater than everything and everybody and everyone. He's even greater than the person who wrote most of the Psalms. His name was King David. How many of you know King David? Okay. Do you know what King David did? In the Bible, he was a little boy, but he killed a lion big, scary lion and a huge giant. That person must be really, really great, right? He did it when he was a little boy. Think about when he grew up. When he grew up, he was defeating all the armies. Every army that fought against King David got defeated. But yet King David said that God is his rock and salvation. That's what he said in the Bible, in the book of Psalms. He said, God, you are my rock and my salvation. So, is God greater than King David? Raise your hand if God is greater than King David. He is. God is greater than King David. But how is it that God, who is greater than King David, is King David's rock? Like, shouldn't God, who is greater, be the mountain that everybody is seeing and adoring and praising? So why is he, the great God, who is way, way greater than David, deciding to be David's rock? And David is the one who we're seeing, oh, you're so awesome, you killed a lion and a bear and a giant called Goliath. What? You know? And people were singing David's praise. Saul was even jealous of him because everybody was saying, David is so great. In the Bible, God called David a man after his heart. So David was loved by God. And the type of love that God has, the type of love where as great and awesome as God is, he's willing to be a rock for tiny little boy David. He's going to be a rock that allows tiny little David to become a huge mountain that everybody in the world can see and respect. And God tells us that we have to love one another just like he loves us. So we have to have the humility that, who wants to be the mountain? Like everybody, okay, raise your hand if you want to be the mountain. What do you want to be? You want to be the rock? I think that's a good thing. Because in that way, if you're going to be a rock to those that you care about, then you are obeying God and loving as God loves. So very quickly, I want you to turn to your neighbor and say, hey neighbor. Turn to your neighbor and say, hey neighbor. Hey neighbor. I'm gonna be your rock. I'm going to be your rock. I'm going to love you like God loves you. Okay, I want you to do it. So right now you guys have to help me out, okay? Look at your neighbor and say, hey neighbor. Hey neighbor. I'm going to be your rock. I'm going to be your rock. I'm going to love you like God loves you. I'm going to love you like God loves you. Okay, everybody give your hand.
Thank you so much for watching part 1. Part 2 of my time at Windsor Christian Academy will be up next Monday by God's grace. Please like and subscribe to encourage me, as well as hit the notification bell so you know when a new video pops up. I'll be playing a whole new instrument while I perform my second book, The Feathers and the Wind. So please look out for it. See you guys next time. Thank you again. Ciao.